Long down the right side, caught, touchdown, Washington State.
Long three.
What a catch by Phillip Bobo.
The Palouse is gonna pop.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Fieldhouse Report. As always, I'm Drew Callahar alongside Cougar Carlson. Tough week in Cougar Sports. How you handling it, man? Maybe so we start
hold everything in this episode.
Yeah, maybe so we start on a more positive note. How are you doing outside of Cougar Sports? How's life?
Yeah,
how's
life
the family?
Is, good.
Yeah,
my wife and kids are good. My daughter's doing her gymnastics. She's getting ready for gymnastics season here in the winter.
Nice.
And my son will be playing soccer.
Okay.
And my wife's got her job that she loves, and I've been working my job for 4 months now. And
yeah. So is this your son's first year of soccer, or has he played it before?
Second.
Okay. Nice. Is he just playing rec league or select?
Yeah, it's indoor soccer. I mean, he
fun.
Never played outdoor, so
nice. Indoor
he likes
the
baseball
best.
a little bit more, but it's kind of more chaos just because you're hitting it up against the walls,
right?
And it's a little bit faster pace. So and then we've got some kids. Like I'm like, that kid looks like Messi out there because they're so small. I'm like, how are you this good at that age? But sure enough, like this one kid or two kids from each team can kind of control it, and you're like, just have fun, buddy. Like I just tell them to go have fun, go play with the other kids. That's all I tell them to do because I don't know much about soccer.
Well, indoor would be the way to go because my biggest beef with soccer is just how much running you have to do, and you don't even like. There's positions in soccer where you just run and you hardly ever touch the ball. Like my wife was a midfielder, and she just ran up and down the sidelines the whole game, every game. And that's why indoor would be the way to go for my level of cardio. All right. Well, before we get too deep into it, I want to give a shout out to both of our sponsors, starting with Neill's. The next time you're in Pullman and you need some coffee to wake you up for Cougar football, you need some flowers to give to your kid that's going to Washington State, whatever it is, stop by Neill's. I was there this morning, got a delicious breakfast burrito, a coffee. It was great. Said hi to Chris. He's a good guy to talk Cougar Sports with. So give it a shot the next time you're in the Palouse.
Yeah, definitely. And can't forget about our other sponsor, Williams Sauce Company. Again, great barbecue sauce. We love it. And I'm still withholding from Drew, although I suspect he'll be getting something here in the next coming days.
Hey, let's go. That's what I like to hear. And then not a sponsor of ours, but we also want to mention the importance of the Cougar Collective in times like these. Please don't rage quit your $18.90 memberships. Stay on board. We need all the support we can get. Mighty by many. And as always, it never hurts to drink an old Crimson Lager every so often.
Not an old Crimson Lager, but I got my alumni cup here, Drew.
That'll get it done with
it's
a
hard
mystery
to get
drink.
Crimson Lager here, but I am working right now to try and get Crimson Lager here in Walla Walla to be distributed. So
there we go.
Stay tuned if you're around the Walla Walla area and following this. I'm looking to organize and get some people and get more of that old Crimson Lager right here in the great city and town of Walla Walla.
Not all heroes wear capes, Darren. This sounds pretty... You'll save the town of Walla Walla with this move. So
not even close. Are you kidding me? It'll be pandemonium in Walla Walla, with all the beer we're going to be drinking.
There we go.
So
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Monday night rolls along, and many of us were extremely excited to see the first look at year 2 of David Riley. And it wasn't super pretty. The Cougs come up short against Idaho. They lose 83-81. They did make a 21-7 run in the last 5 minutes to make it close. there was an opportunity for a tip in at the end as we inbounded the ball that didn't quite fall through. That would have tied the game and sent it to overtime, but it wasn't meant to be. And honestly, I don't think Darren got a chance to watch too much of it. I know he was following it closely, but I was able to be there in person, and I'll just say it. Idaho was a better team. They passed the ball better. They had better shooting. They rebounded. And for 35 minutes, they dominated us in every facet of the game. It was pretty frustrating too. I think for a lot of Cougar fans, there was two things that we were hoping to see improvements in year two of David Riley, and that was better defense and better rebounding. And we pretty much just looked exactly like last year. And the thing that for me was the most disappointing is it seemed like the lack of intensity that our players came out with here in game one. I mean, Idaho shot the ball better, but dang, man, they were open all night. I mean, their best shooters were wide open around the perimeter all night long. And you saw at the very end of the game when we finally woke up, we looked like a completely different team on defense. We were closing out hard. We were fighting for rebounds. Just a lot more energy, and it's just a little bit frustrating that it took so long to get to that point. I will say this: there was a few players that stood out. Emmanuel Ugbo, the senior transfer from Boise State, he had 17 points, 8 rebounds. Really gave the Cougs some life coming off the bench there. Ace Glass, 17.6 rebounds. Thrasterson, 17.6 rebounds. And then Jerome Morton was also awesome with 14 points. So there's a lot to look forward to here for the Cougs. But definitely losing to Idaho right out the gate was not the result you'd look for.
Yeah, it's definitely not the start. I got a chance to look at, obviously, the highlights from the game. I was not impressed, even with the likes of the highlights. And there's almost like a synchronicity that's kind of missing, certainly defensively. And you can even argue that offensively as well. And, again, it's early. It's only the first couple games. They got a matchup against Davidson tomorrow night, or by the time this gets released tonight. And, I'll certainly have a better eye on that one to kind of gauge where we're at. As a former basketball coach myself, I take pride in analyzing like how, performances on defense, particularly since I was a defensive specialist at a couple of stops I was at.
Mm-hmm.
And, last year was certainly really, really a struggle to just watch collectively throughout every game, because there would be like one game you're like, we found our, you felt like Cool Runnings. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get up, it's Coug time. And right after that. So
and it was the same story we saw last year. Like the rotation was slow. On offense, we didn't look like we knew where our teammates were going to be. Like there was a couple times where we made the right pass, but 2 steps too late. And by that time, Idaho was all over it. So not too often you open up against Idaho in any sport and you just straight up are not the better team. But that was definitely the case the other night. The 2 performances that I was the most disappointed in, honestly, were Ndie Okafor and Rodriguez, both guys that I'm sure will get it together and be major contributors on this team. But in game one, they were definitely kind of black holes. Ndie had some pretty good rebounds, but just no offensive production at all. So just looking for those 2 to step up, because I think those are 2 guys that we're going to count on throughout the season. And then the Splash Brother matchup this Friday. So I have trust in the coaching staff. I think they're going to be all right. But yeah, it's kind of a brutal schedule until we get into WCC play. So we'll see how it goes.
Even then, it's still tough because we have the likes of, obviously, Gonzaga. I'll be there at that game.
Yep, and we got them twice too. Once in Spokane, once in Pullman. So
I'll see if we can score both of us some tickets for the one in Spokane for us, buddy. Okay.
At the kennel, that'd be
I'm
pretty
serious. I
fun.
might be able to get some.
Hey,
I mean, I'm serious. Yeah, it's a small arena, but when those fans are crazy, it's really an intimate, like high intensity crowd. So it's fun.
yeah, I've heard a lot of crazy stories about that arena. It's small, right? It only seats like 5,000 people or so.
6, yeah,
Yeah, but it gets pretty loud.
yeah. I've coached and watched a playoff game at Modern Day High School,
Oh,
and
nice.
that
Yeah,
seats about 5,000 people. So
yeah,
just so people are aware, like you're no bigger than one of the largest high school stadiums you could probably find. So
yeah. No, I like it. I
yeah.
actually sometimes wish that was the case with Beasley. We draw a lot of crowds, at least in the last couple of years, that are right between 3,000 and 4,000 fans. And if we were in a building that had a capacity that was a little bit less, I think it would provide an environment that would be a little bit more exciting. But I don't know. I don't know how you'd do that. You'd have to retrofit Beasley in some way, it seems like, and that'd be a lot
You
of.
need like $100 million. You need 100 million.
Yeah, that is an old
And that's
concrete
just a
building.
start. I don't even think, yeah. That's
Yeah,
just a start. I think they should drop it down to like 7 or 8,000 people personally.
yeah. I think right now it's almost 11. It's like 10-8 or 10-7 or something crazy like that. So it's a pretty big building. The one thing I'll give Beasley though, it does get loud even when there's not that many people in it. It's like it's kind of got that kingdom effect, right? Like there's big concrete walls that surround every single inch of that thing. And even on a night where there's not a ton of people, it can get pretty noisy.
Yeah, I certainly wish that we could get it back to the Bennett days. But
Yeah.
focus on what you have in front of you.
Oh, you gotta win to get the people to start showing up, unfortunately. But I think it's gonna be an okay season. I mean, we got 30 some odd games, figure it out. I did feel like we played really well at the end of that game and found the guys that were on the floor at that point. Some of the guys I mentioned earlier
Mhm.
seemed like they had a rhythm with each other and we're finding some open looks. So it's gonna be all right. It's just this is what's going to happen when you have so much roster turnover year after year after year. And it seemed like under Kyle Smith, we were able to almost get better athletes each year, with obviously his last season being the best group that he had. But it's just a tough situation where you're going to end up with a new
It was
starting
certainly an
five.
easier sale under the old Pac-12, right?
Yeah,
Because you had a lot of the TV money and the kids are getting the exposure.
right.
I think right now what I'm seeing is like, how do we sit there and compete? And the answer comes back to what you have already said. They're not a sponsor, but if Cougs want a difference to be made,
Yeah,
whether you like it, whether you care about it, it doesn't matter. Getting into the 1890 Club and the Cougar Collective is essential and vital.
yeah,
And, in terms of putting together just a little scenario in what, the modern day, NIL situation would be, where would the likes of someone like a football player like Michael Bumpus be
yeah,
if the NIL was around? Would we have been able to recruit him? And the answer is no. The same is true for Gabe Marks.
yeah,
The same is true for many players.
yeah,
And so our answer as Cougs can't be to back down.
yeah,
It can't be to give in. It has to be to show up, and it has to be to pitch in. If you think that all you're doing is giving your money for just $18.90 a month, then you're sadly mistaken. There are events every weekend for football games. There's tailgate lots where you can go. At the RV1, Matt Mira of Marco Polo Bar and Grill provides food for Cougar Collective members. You guys need to get in. We
yeah,
all do.
yeah.
It takes a village, and if we can get there. I promise you we can.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point. I think one of the things that is there's a few mindset shifts that I think are going to happen amongst our fan base. And we've talked on and on and on about this on past episodes, but I think the biggest thing is this. We as Cougs have always been somewhat disadvantaged in like even going back to the Mike Price days. It's like, okay, yeah, USC had more resources, blah, 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 blah. So we're used to kind of saying, hey, we're underdogs. We like being underdogs. And we're just going to keep doing more with less. And the reality is it has never been more uneven. And it's uneven to the point where you literally cannot compete unless you have a competitive NIL program. For us to do that in the new conference, I think there's a lot of Coug fans too that are sitting here saying, "Oh, we're going to be a big fish in a new conference, and we'll always be at the top." That is not going to be the case unless we start to step up and be the fans that we kind of verbally and externally show that we are. So just trying to get everybody involved, because I don't think if we don't, there could be some really rough times ahead.
It really comes down to this. It's literally it is Rocky 3, Apollo Creed. There is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow.
Yeah, this is it.
We have to show up now. We can no longer just wave the flag and get by.
Right.
Because that is what we are planned to do for the rest of eternity if we don't show up, show out, and get the money where we need it to be, which is in that NIL fund, the Cougar Collective. You need to do it now. Be sure to mention the Fieldhouse Report sent you.
Yep.
Right? Because you can do a referral. Make sure that you say Fieldhouse Report sent you.
Yep.
You can tell them we sent you, because we are serious about this as a heart attack at this point.
Yeah.
We have the coach. We're going to have the best defense, bar none. I mean, you could argue, I don't know, Drew, you tell me, you have more experience, but the Palouse posse might have been the second seed based on what Jimmy Rogers could provide just in his first season. Literally the roadmap is there based on what he's showing us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see a future. I do, where 2 years from now, we're sitting here in November and we're looking at the schedule and we're saying, hey, Cougs got one big matchup against Oregon State and one big matchup against Boise State. And if they can win those 2 games, we're in the college football playoff, because that's what the new league will be playing for year after year after year. But the only way we get there is if we have a competitive NIL. And that's the bottom line. Because the new world of college athletics is very unforgiving to those that choose to sit on the sidelines in times like this. So get it done, Cougs.
Yeah.
We believe.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people are going to sit here and say, I know that a lot of Cougs are also going to sit there and say, well, we want the old schedule and the old Pac-12. All right. Let's figure out at least a small solution to that. Teresa Gold, our Pac-12 commissioner, if you're watching this, you need to get us old Pac-12 opponents on the early schedule.
Yeah.
Not just the Huskies. We want the Ducks. We want USC. We want UCLA. We want Stanford. We want Cal.
Yeah.
Go on a rotational cycle. Get them. Because we can compete, even with these new teams in there. We can compete with those schools. And we will. Trust us. We will compete.
Yeah. Absolutely. On that note, are you ready to talk about this football game? Does it
look like I am? I mean, what the?
I'm not going to sit here and list the games that did this for me, but there's only been, there's probably been 5 to 10 Cougar football games in my lifetime. That's probably more, that have they kind of ruin your week and sometimes your month. This was one of them. I mean, for a while after the game, I was just quiet. Just didn't know what to say. So the Cougs obviously dropped the game to Oregon State 10-7. Defense played extremely, extremely well, limiting Oregon State to only 7 points. And really, the drive that they scored those 7 points on was pretty fluky. I mean, there was a catch that I'm not quite sure it was a catch. There was a big run that there was holding all over the place. But the offense sputtered all day. Some severe injury bugs have hit the offensive line. That was part of it. Zevi's play at quarterback was part of it. But the thing I want to ask you, Darren, is there was a lot of people on social media that were going after Danny Freund, the offensive coordinator. And I just want to get your thoughts on how much of a role did his play calling play in the game? And do you think he should be on the hot seat as we move forward towards the end of the season?
I don't think he should be on the hot seat. This wasn't a game that I felt like that was the case. I felt like that was more of the case against the likes of Virginia. And I thought our offense staggered, and I thought, there was just some moments, but, Zevi getting sacked 6 times, like 6 times.
Yeah.
Is huge. He only threw for 146 yards in the game. I mean, across 4 quarters, that's abysmal.
Yeah.
And he had 2 interceptions, no TDs.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bright spot. And I hate to say that even for the likes of Voorhees, because he really has become that bright spot for our offense.
Sure.
I don't want to take away from him, but the offense really needs to do that internal self-evaluation right now. And it starts with our offensive coordinator and our head coach. What is our adjusted game plan? How do we get our offensive linemen as well as our offense moving? Because everybody knows that you're doing these rollouts to get Zevi in rhythm. How do we change that with quick checkdowns? So instead of like getting him going sideline to sideline, let's get a quick checkdown or, just a draw play or something instead that looks different, or just a shovel pass like Mike Leach would do. Something small that creates a big difference and that opens up the playbook even more. And how do you assess that moving forward? And that's what I think needs to change. I don't think he needs to be on the hot seat. And I say that just because I'm kind of tired of watching all these coaches get fired. And it's not because I don't think that they necessarily deserve it. I'm just at a point where I'm sitting here looking at all these coaches getting fired. I'm like, I forget which coach right now. Like, who are you going to, like, oh, Sark. Sark was in a press conference. Who are you going to hire?
Yeah.
You've got how many openings right now? And most of them are big jobs. Penn State, Arkansas, Auburn.
Yeah.
LSU, obviously. There's rumors that Lincoln Riley is going to depart from, SC now at this point and go to the likes of, like, I think he would actually be a good fit for Auburn personally. I think that's where he should go.
Yeah.
But I don't think that firing is just the solution that we need to sit there and put ourselves in at this point. I think they need to figure out a way to evolve.
Yeah.
And not just have the rollouts, because the rollouts look redundant. They look easy. You can see at the back end coverage that basically Zevi has no options. And it's just something needs to change. And our offensive linemen that have come in and stepped up.
Yeah.
For what's his name? How do you pronounce his name?
Brock Dew.
D-I-E.
Brock Dew.
Do. And obviously Hilborn, like their replacements right now, they need to step up and they need to show out. And whatever that looks like, they need to do it, and they need to do it now.
Yeah. So my take is there's one reason why I think he should not be on the hot seat. I agree with you. Firing the offensive coordinator, whatever we are, 8 games into his time here with the roster turnover that we've had and all that stuff, not a great idea. I think we can ride it out a little bit longer and get some more data points here. But I think the one thing that is concerning is just how undisciplined we've been on offense all season. And it's not a team-wide thing. Our defense doesn't commit the same number of penalties that our offense does. And when they do commit penalties, it's this kind of stuff where it's just like they're playing fast. It's a targeting penalty or something where there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But our offense is continually making mental errors that lead to penalties. We're constantly being called for illegal man downfield. We're constantly false starting. We're constantly being called for illegal formation. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, again, if our whole team was doing it, I would be pissed at Jimmy Rogers and saying, this is a sign of a poorly coached team. But since it's just our offense struggling with that, that's the one thing that really concerns me about the current offensive coaching staff. Now, I 100% agree with you that the reason why we were sputtering on offense on Saturday night was not because of our play calling. It was because of the fact that we were just not executing. Our offensive line wasn't executing for obvious reasons. And Zevi, I've heard some rumors like he was hurt or he was sick or something, but you could see it on his face when they showed some close-up shots. Like, he did not look like himself whatsoever. I mean, that fiery kind of competitive, I'm going to find a way to win look that he always has on his face, gone. And he looked like he was pale as a ghost and scared, which could be a few things. One, it could be that he was getting hit and he was running for his life on every single play. Or it could be because there was something wrong. He was hurt or he was sick. I mean, I know that playing with the flu can be a brutal experience, having done it a few times myself. So there's something wrong there. I hope it was just a bad night. And then when it comes down to the offensive line play, God bless those poor kids that are trying to fill in up there, because they are so outmanned and not to mention just underexperienced. And I think that was what really hurt us against Oregon State. It was a lot of miscommunications. And Rob Akey was throwing those house blitzes. Just ask Texas and Vince Young what it's like to go up against the blitzes of Rob Akey. I mean, he was sending them from all over the place. I mean, they were coming on corner blitzes, safety blitzes. They were dropping linemen into coverage. I mean, they were bringing a lot of heat from a lot of different places. And I think it just confused the heck out of our linemen that are playing out of position. They're not used to playing with each other. And there was just so many plays that I think we had the right play call and we just didn't execute, whether it was Zevi being inaccurate, whether it was somebody coming completely unblocked. It was just ugly on every level. And I don't know about you, but I thought we were still going to find a way to win the game. I mean, it really wasn't until we missed the field goal that I really was like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose. I kept on thinking, oh, this is ugly and this is embarrassing.
I was sitting there right by the field goal and I was sitting there staring. I was like, how did you miss that?
Yeah.
And it was a 32-yarder. I know it was on the right side, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was
my dad and I were watching the game and he lines it up, and as he's stepping back, my dad goes, well, this is from the right hash, so that should be a good hash to kick from as a right-footed kicker. And then he goes, right, Drew? And I'm like locked in because in my brain I'm going, oh my gosh, you're gonna miss this. He's gonna miss this. And my dad just goes, right, Drew? And it was just silence, and then he missed the kick. And it was like,
your dad jinxed us all the way from Pullman, bro.
This is a good angle for a right-footed kicker.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so
you can't win games. 6 interceptions, right? That's what we had. 6. I'm reading it here again.
Oh, we didn't have that many.
6 sacks, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, there we go. I was
10
like,
penalties for
was it that bad?
90 yards.
Yeah.
The only, and this is where you could talk about the defense. The only statistic where we did better than them at, and I mentioned this before we started, Drew, they punted 10 times for 437 yards. We punted 7 times for 278 yards.
Dang.
So we did extend drives a little bit better than what I initially, it wasn't great, but at the same time, that's one aspect that you could say our defense is just continually showing up.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
There's one thing that needs to compete in, whether it's new Pac-12 or it's competing against the likes of a bigger opponent like SEC for Ole Miss, or for, a Big Ten opponent, you need defense.
Yeah.
And if you guys are not convinced, at least defensively, that Jimmy Rogers is the guy,
Yes.
I don't know what's going to take to wake you guys up.
I haven't
He
seen.
is the guy.
Yeah. It was incredible. I mean, I haven't seen a Cougar defense fly around like that. And they were going up against a pretty piss poor offense. But every team we have played that has not had an elite quarterback, we have eaten alive. I'm telling you, like, it is so fun to watch the way our defense flies to the football. They seem to anticipate what's coming. It's really, really impressive. And it gets me excited because I think the athletes that we're going to get on defense are only going to get better. And if we're already doing this in year one under Jimmy Rogers, I can't even imagine how good it could be 3 or 4 seasons from now. So I love that. And really, with the type of defense that we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years in Pullman, it's really refreshing, because outside of that 2017 squad, we haven't been able to stop people consistently ever, or at least in the last recent.
If you think about it, with the likes of our defense, like, we are setting ourselves up for success in just a different way than we're used to.
Right.
Hey, maybe in a year or two, Jimmy Rogers says, this balanced attack ain't working for our program. Maybe we need to get back to an air raid style system.
Yeah.
And he finds someone else that can come in, because then you can find those, blue chip players that, we're used to getting that can make the difference.
Yeah. He won't do it.
But
he won't do it.
He won't. And that's okay. Okay. I'm actually okay with that, because I prefer the balanced attack.
Yeah.
So
no, he won't do it. And the reason why, and I feel like this is part of what the poor defenses that had to play with Leach had to deal with, is, my goodness, the number of possessions that the other teams got when we ran the air raid, the true air raid under Mike Leach. It was insane. Games would last for forever. And it's a whole nother ball game. Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game. If you're a defense that has to stop the other team from scoring when they get double the number of possessions than they're getting when we control the clock. I mean, in this new style of play, time of possession is a true factor. Like, there's some quarters where other teams are only getting 2 drives in the quarter. And that's huge. That's huge, because it gives the offense less time to figure you out. It gives the offense less opportunities to, try to go down the field and score. So, I am in favor of running with this new style, but it takes a mentality shift. This is so much more than just we're running a new offense. This is an entire change of mentality, and I'm here for it. It's going to take a little bit. I think it's going to take some time for our fans to adjust. But in the end, this is what championship football teams do. And I'm excited for it, because I think there's a lot to look forward to, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Okay, so before we get into opponent preview, I just want to take a step back for a second with you and talk about, we're talking about the trajectory of the program and how we think it's going in the right direction. As far as what's left on the table for this year's team, 3 games left, obviously a bye this weekend, and then we host Louisiana Tech, followed by a road trip to James Madison, and then the year is capped off at home against the Oregon State Beavers. Let's get into some predictions for what we see happening, what we see playing out in these last 3 games. You can take your time to think about it, because I know we didn't.
No, I'm gonna go 2-1.
2-1. Okay, with wins over
Louisiana Tech and Oregon State.
Yeah. The more I watch James Madison, the more I'm thinking maybe if they came to Pullman, we'd have, I'm not saying we'd win, but it'd be a good game. I think it'll be a good game even with us traveling on the road, but it's going to be a really tough one to pull out, and certainly not a game that I would mark as a win on our schedule heading towards the end here, especially now that they're wearing those Avengers helmets. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
They
I've heard
so
some
yeah.
good
So listen to
bash.
listen to this. So I can't remember the exact options. It's like Thor, Hulk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they get the choice. So one side is going to say JMU in block letters, and the other side is going to have the superhero of their choice on their helmets for that game. So it's
So
I'm not a fan.
what would you choose though, Drew? If you had to choose, what would you choose for your superhero?
Dude, if you don't have a whole team of Hulks out there, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing?
Captain America, bro. Captain
Oh yeah,
America.
that is one of the options. Captain America is one option. So I feel like I would have thought that was cool as a kid, maybe, but be interesting to see what these college kids think of this.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. You probably don't know Toys R Us.
They're a Toys R Us team. Those James Madison.
Yeah.
James Madison. What are they?
Dukes. They're the Dukes.
The Dukes. Of course. How did I forget that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you say 2-1. I say 2-1 as well. I think we'll beat Oregon State at home. I feel pretty good about Louisiana Tech. They did bring LSU down to the wire. We're not down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
They played a decent game against LSU, but I don't think LSU is all that special of a team. So I like our odds, especially at home. But tell us a little bit more about the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs.
Yeah, so they have a decent offense, you know. Right now they have their quarterback. They've had a few different ones that they've put in there, but Blake Baker is their premier quarterback right now with a 66% completion percentage. And he's got 5 TDs, 3 interceptions on the season. He's also one of the top leading rushers for the team. They do have a 2-back system that they use, in which they balance out pretty well between Clay Thevenin and Omiri Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
And those two guys are some big time, some decent runners for their style of play. But their primary receiver, they look for their tight end a majority of the time.
Dog.
Yeah, he's Eli Finley. He's pretty good. And then you have Devin Candy, who's their other leading wide receiver. They're both at just over 300 yards receiving for the season so far.
Yeah,
they're a decently balanced team. Like there's nothing that overly stands out, but this is one that could be a sleeper, and we need to show up and show our support for our players and get there, particularly for Dad's Weekend. So
yeah, shout out Dad's Weekend. Hope all the dads are able to come to the Palouse. Yeah, Louisiana Tech is actually a team that I have gotten to watch live a couple of times, but most recently I think they played last Tuesday night. And the thing I'll say about them is they're willing to throw everything at you. So we need to be ready for the fake punts, the reverse, triple reverses, the whatever it takes. They're gonna bring it, and for them, you have to recognize this is. I mean, outside they played LSU, but this is a big deal for them to get a chance to play against us. So they're gonna be ready. Little bit of a
cold.
I hope they're cold. So I did look. No precipitation in the forecast, but 38 degrees at kickoff. Should be pretty chilly for those guys.
What area? Well, it's the South, but Louisiana Tech. Let's take a quick look. They are based in Ruston, Louisiana. Did I say that with enough of an accent for our Louisiana fans? So right now it's 63 degrees at night, and it's 82 during the day.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's next Friday it's going to be 76 and 57.
Ooh,
so they don't know what cold is. So
yeah,
we're going to give them the cold front, and we need to show them how hostile we are as fans. So
yeah,
bring it. Not hostile in a negative way, guys.
Yeah,
Just be
yeah,
loud,
yeah,
okay?
yeah. No, that's one of my favorite things about being a Coug is when the LA schools had to come to Pullman in November, or the Arizona schools had to come into Pullman in November, and especially for night games, just seeing them slowly kind of have their will sucked out of them by a loud fan base and a team that's used to playing in the cold. I think of Arizona a few years back when they played Gardner Minshew and the boys, and just watching them just slowly deflate as the game went on, just because one, Gardner was just shredding them, but two,
Was that
just
the
I
one
think
where
the
he
cool.
scored 55 points and a half?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. You would have thought
Yep.
they would have scored like 130 of that game based on the way it was going.
Oh my gosh! And just looking at the body language of those Arizona players, that's one of my favorite things to do. Like when whoever it is, when it's a warm weather team that comes, just watching them try to stay warm, and just you can see it on their faces. They're just like, get me the heck out of here. I'm done
Yeah.
with the Palouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that can be the factor. Hopefully we get some people to show up, and enough people to at least play a factor in the game. Okay, well, before we wrap up, a few extremely exciting things coming up. Next week is going to be, you're going to want to stay tuned to the Fieldhouse Report, because we got a couple of big guests coming up for you. So to preview the Apple Cup of basketball that'll be happening next Friday in Beasley Coliseum, we're going to have Craig Elo, Cougar basketball legend and current color commentator for the Cougar Sports radio broadcast of basketball games. He will be with us. Can't wait for that. That'll be recorded Monday, likely posted sometime on Tuesday. So be ready for that. We're going to talk all things Cougar hoops, talk about the current team, relive some of his glory days. It's going to be great. And then on Friday night, before the game against Louisiana Tech, we are going to be live from Neill's in downtown Pullman with Ryan Leaf. So that'll be great. We're really looking forward to both of those interviews. And we're going to get the opportunity to preview with both those Cougar legends a couple of fun matchups coming up. So stay tuned. Make sure you're ready for it. And let us know in the comments if you have any questions for either of those two. We'd love to get some fan questions as we head into both those interviews. So
Definitely would love that. Please bring in those questions so that we can ask those questions on each episode. So,
well, we didn't follow our typical structure during this episode, but I think it was a good therapy session for both of us just to work through this. As always, we talked about it before the episode. It's like being a Coug. There's going to be times like this, and the thing that makes us unique, I think, is the fact that we never give up. We always kind of are optimistic about the future. We find the positive, we find the silver lining, and we show up just the same for the next game.
Definitely. Looking forward to seeing our Cougar Collective 1890 membership go up in the coming months, particularly as we prepare to retain some of our football roster and perhaps start looking at next season's roster with some open thought process. So get in, Cougs. We can't be waiting anymore. Let's get to it. Let's get after it, because we are so capable. We just want to talk as though we're not. And we are.
Exactly. Well, that does it for another edition of the Fieldhouse Report. We just want to thank everybody that watches. Again, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment for us. We love chatting it up with other Cougs. Thanks again, and go Cougs.
Go Cougs.